Good day. This is our second video on surds in equations, and in these ones you have to check whether your answers are acceptable or not. The question would read, solve for x in this equation. So the first thing we do is we isolate the square root. We want to get the square root alone. So you minus x on both sides and you get the square root of x plus 5 equals 1 minus x. Now to get rid of the square root, you square both sides. When you square the left-hand side, the square will cancel the square root and we get x plus 5. Now, to square this bracket, people have trouble and they make small mistakes here. So I like us to write out two brackets next to each other and then FOIL this out. If you times this out, you'll get here 1 minus x plus x squared. Now I simplify the two sides separately. Minus x gives me minus 2x. Now I see an equation with an x squared. So I will take everything to the one side where the x squared is positive and equate it to 0. So this plus x will become a minus x on this side. That gives me minus 3x. Put the x squared in front. Bring the 5 over. That will become a minus 5 and 1 gives me minus 4. Now you factorize. You get two factors. You get x plus 1 equals 0 or x minus 4 equals 0. Then we get x equals to minus 1 or x equals to 4. Now you must check whether these two answers are acceptable. When you check these sums, you do not need to write as much as I did. You just write the word check, you do what I did, and you just write next to these two answers whether they are acceptable or not acceptable. The original sum looked like this. So you must understand there's an equal, so this is called the left-hand side, and this is called the right-hand side. We're going to take this x equals minus 1 and substitute it into the left-hand side. So the left-hand side is the square root of x plus 5 plus x. You substitute the x equals to minus 1 everywhere where there was an x. You put the minus 1 in there and in there in brackets with your calculator. You work this piece out and further. Then you get the answer equal to 1. So if you substitute minus 1 into the left-hand side, your answer is 1, and that is equal to the right-hand side. So we can see that x equals to minus 1 is a solution. Then we take x equals to 4 and also substitute it into the left-hand side. So I wrote here the left-hand side is the square root like we had over there. Put the 4 in the place of x and put the 4 in the place of x. Simplify it and simplify it further. Then we get equal to 7, and that is not equal to the right-hand side. Then we will say x is equal to 4 is not applicable. Now we know that x equals to minus 1 is a solution and x equals to 4 is not applicable. Now, all this work here is a nightmare to some people, but it's only worth 1 mark in any question. So the important part is what you did here, and then to check this on your calculator. So when you answer a question like this, you do this in full, then you write the word check, and then you write here x equals to minus 1 with a tick above it or a line under it, and next to it you write x is not allowed to be 4. You do this on your own, any way you want. I'm quickly going to run through one more sum of this kind with you, to see if you have a feeling on what we did. The sum says solve for x, and we see we've got a square root here, so we're going to isolate the square root by taking these two to the other side. Then the equation will look like this. Now we've got to get rid of the square root, so we square both sides. After we made two brackets and squared them out, this will be the answer. Then I bring everything to one side and equate it to 0. After that, we factorize. Then we get our answer, x equals to 12 from there, or x equals to minus 2. Then we write the word check. If x equals to 12 or x equals to minus 2, we substitute the 12 on our own way in here, and we see that it ends up being a naught, which is the right-hand side. So the left-hand side equals the right-hand side, so x is working. Then we take the minus 2, substitute it into the left-hand side, and we can see that it's not working out to 0. So it ends up being 12, so the left-hand side is not equal to the right-hand side. Then you can write x equals to 12 with a tick next to it. You can write x equals to minus 2, not applicable. Some people write check and then they say x equals to 12, x is not equal to minus 2. Please indicate whether you liked or disliked the video and subscribe to the channel. If there's anything in school mathematics that you're not sure about, you can send your problem to us with a WhatsApp photo to this number. Then we will try and solve your problem and send back an answer to you as soon as possible for free. Enjoy the mathematics.